Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to Dream Conversations, the final session for April 30th. It's the last day of the month, and this is going to be one of the most phenomenal conversations we've had over the last 3 weeks. My name is Dr. Beverly Brown, and the conversation has been about understanding artificial intelligence and what it may mean for our lives. It's been a pretty simple conversation and then complicated on top of that about AI, but how it affects our dreams and reality. And as I said, this is conversation number 4. And for those that don't know me, please get to know me by going to my website at www.creativeconsultingdreams.com. And I want to thank those that are present and those that are going to see this in the future. It's going to be a phenomenal session. I always start with a prayer, which I have already done off screen. And I always like to start with a disclaimer because I need to do that to let everybody know why this is an important thing, but also that I'm no expert on because I am not an AI or ChatGPT expert. And I put the word yet because I am working on it now. It is something new that I think I'm being led to learn more about. And this is why I started the conversation so I could find out what people were saying about it. I'm also not a theologian. I am a Christian and I have been for over 50 years. So we're going to have some biblical verses in here. Anybody wants to challenge it or do whatever you do, that's fine. But these are things that, yes, using ChatGPT has researched for me and brought up to me. And plus, of course, I verified in the Bible. So you'll be seeing some of those things come up, and everybody is open to say what they need to say after we've gone through the slides, because this is what it's all about, a conversation. Previously, and I told people for the last 3 sessions, I am not here to challenge anyone's belief. Whether your belief is positive or negative about AI, ChatGPT, or anything else, I'm not here to challenge it. I am assigned to help you learn, share, and grow together with this information. That's it. And AI tools were used through ChatGPT, which you'll find out that all that is a big reservoir of materials and information, and you can get it there a lot faster rather than trying to do research if you don't or haven't used it before. So I did use it for the research, and Canva is the method for my PowerPoint presentation in case people want to know how I created it. And it's for informational and educational purposes only. So this is the fourth and final conversation about AI, about discernment and understanding the times in a biblical sense, because everything is, believe it or not, there's nothing new in heaven. God knows everything that's going around here, and I'm just trying to get everybody to kind of understand it in a biblical sense as well as a realistic sense as far as how we're thinking about it every day. So these are not conversations meant to create fear, but to bring understanding and awareness so that everyone can make their own choices. And I say the word biblical because I know not everybody is using the Bible as well. Okay, but I am letting you know the thing that I am in tune to is from the Bible, and whether or not you have your own research material, whatever you use, then that's on you as the person, as the individual. Well, I'm not being biased about it or anything else. I'm just letting you know this is a material that I have brought to, I guess, to fruition through the way that I live. But the overall goal is to just help you think clearly and in a rapidly changing world and applying it to whatever beliefs that you have. I want to go back one slide. Just for future reference, this is week 4. So I've done sessions 1, 2, and 3 for the month of April. All of them will be on YouTube. You'll see that nice little picture up there, and it'll say session 1, opening session, session 2, session 3, and session 4. You can watch them simultaneously or however you want to. They're about an hour, a little bit over. So you may want to watch it and go back or whatever you need to do, but will be on YouTube under my Creative Consulting Dreams YouTube channel. I hope you'll tune in and subscribe. Just a very, very quick recap because we do have a lot of slides to go to. The format of this is that I have slides that I'm going to show you the information as far as what I want to present to you. And then after that, we will have an open conversation about thoughts that you had, even about what I presented and your thoughts on how you feel about what it is that I'm saying. So you might want to jot some notes down while you're waiting. If something comes to your mind, you says, "Oh, I think I want to, say something about that or challenge what I've said, whatever it is." Make a note of it because this is an open conversation. Like I said, I'm not the expert. This is just trying to get you the information as far as I know it. So we discovered what artificial intelligence is, how AI is already being used, how AI learns information, what ChatGPT versus Claude is about. And some of you, like you said, you may not have even heard of any of this, but it's advancing so fast, so you can't really, really keep your head wrapped around it unless you see it every day, which is what I've been studying. So we've also understanding about synthetic AI. Let's print there. Synthetic AI. You've probably never even heard about that versus artificial AI. Yeah, it's totally different from what you probably have seen 3 months ago compared to what's going on right now. We also spoke about learning to discern things in a digital world, which is really what this is about. We have to be able to discern what's fake and what's real because there's a lot of fake stuff out there, and this is what's changing the whole atmosphere of what's going on in this world itself. So, and we also talk about the importance of human responsibility because as fast as they're creating stuff, we as humans are still responsible for grasping the information, learning from it, and using it as far as what we see or what we want to use it for based upon our needs in our everyday lives. So I put the key reminder is that AI is actually a tool and people still decide how it's used. So it's up to you, but there's a plethora of information out there. You have to decide what you want to use it for, if at all. So week 4, we're opening up with a script that I got from Hosea 4:6. It says, "My people are destroyed by the lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children." The main parts of that is that for the lack of knowledge, your people can be destroyed or we can be destroyed because we're not knowing what we're doing. And this is not about trying to say we're going to be destroyed. It's just like anything that if you're not learning what you need on a daily basis, your life can be changed because you don't have the knowledge of what it is that you need to either survive, do what you need to do. It's just a basic knowledge of, hey, knowing you got to eat. That's knowledge. Knowing you have to put gas in the car to do what it has to do. All of these things are knowledge. The lack of knowledge is what destroys you, not that it's saying that's going to destroy the world or anything like that. So AI is just a tool that people are using these days. And this main purpose, like I said, is just to give you knowledge of what it is and what to look for, to discern what to use as far as your life is concerned. The purpose of these conversations, they're not about any predictions. I'm not trying to predict anything that's going to happen in the future or anything else. This is just about understanding what's going on in your everyday life, being aware of the things that are happening in your life. Like I said, some of you may be in tune to AI and in tune to ChatGPT, and just talking to Carolyn Aki earlier today, she was saying that she hasn't even used it. So thank you, Aki, for being here and offering that information. But mainly, we have to be able to discern what's real and what's not, because this is how our lives are changing little by little, and it's right underneath our noses. So what we've learned from previous sessions is that artificial intelligence is a tool. A tool. It is created by people. So many people behind the scenes that have created artificial intelligences. So much that I've learned as far as the companies and who's behind it. It's just incredible. The other part is it is used by people, and we are the people. So they are creating it, but we're also using it. And it does not replace wisdom. I had a question mark here because it's like I asked him, like, what do you mean it doesn't replace wisdom? To me, learning everything that you need to do is part of your wisdom. It's not about replacing what you already know. It's just learning more wisdom about things that are happening in your life. So it's not going to replace that, but it is going to give you a better understanding and more wisdom to go with it. And it's not going to replace your purpose. It's not going to replace your faith or whatever it is that you believe, just based on you using it or accessing it. So the main thing is we're not lacking access. We are lacking understanding of it. The access is there, but we're lacking understanding of why it's there and what's the purpose. So we fear what we don't fully know. That goes without saying. What you don't know is like, hey, you're going to always be fearful of it in a sense. So we avoid what we don't know or how to use it. So a lot of people have not been using AI because, hey, if you don't know how, of course, everybody, anything that you're learning for the first time, if you don't know how, it takes a while to get acclimated to it. Everybody is different. So we question what we haven't taken time to truly understand. These are some of the conversations we've had in the conversation 1, 2, and 3. They're questioning why is it there? What is it doing? Why is it affecting lives? Why are people losing jobs? Why is it affecting medicine? Why is it affecting the medical field? All of these are questions that we have, but we haven't taken the time to truly understand how it's applied, and it's so much behind it. It would take I don't want to know how long it's going to take for us to learn everything because we're never going to learn it all. But however, we also learn that we're thinking about it more without having the honest conversation needed to truly understand it. So there's a lot of information out there. We're thinking about it a whole lot, but guess what? We're still not understanding it all. And I mean, who's to say when are we going to understand everything that's going on in this world? So the question is whether we embrace it or ignore it, it is not going away. And Ikea agree with me right away about that because it is not going anywhere. So with a biblical foundation that was given through ChatGPT, believe it or not, it's given me biblical verses that I can apply to what's going on. And the first one in Genesis, it says, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth, subdue it, and have dominion. That just came from the book of Genesis. And like I said, not everybody may not be familiar with the book of Genesis. I'm going by what I'm doing and what I have read. And the thing is, in the book of Genesis, it was just saying that we were given responsibility, not control, without applying practical wisdom. So we can go back to the Adam and Eve days or whatever, but mainly the foundation is you're given responsibility of everything that's on this earth, but not to control it without applying wisdom to it. And please think about that as I finish this conversation, because you'll see how it applies to your everyday life. This is nothing new under the sun. So the real shift is we are moving from what is true to what can be made to look true. Believe it or not, we're seeing things that look true that are not. This is a shift we must understand and become more aware of, which means that you have to discern things a whole lot better now instead of taking everything for face value. Whew. Like I said, I got a lot of slides about this. That's why I'm going so fast because I want to get to the conversation. So AI can create images, it can create voices, it can create, hold on, someone's calling me for a code 349. No kidding me with the new code. What did I tell you was the new code, Aki?
349593.
Girl, can you believe I did the wrong one? 34993.
593.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
349. Oh my God. I'm going to, sorry, I'm just going to stop sharing the screen. I am going to stop the recording. All right, Ike. So we left off that AI can now create images, voices, videos, digital identities. It can look so real even when it isn't. It can sound real even when it isn't. It's amazing. So those are the things we discussed. If you want to get more details on that, go back to the previous videos that I did for week 1, 2, and 3. I went into more detail as to how they do that. So between knowledge and choice, knowledge has always been available to us. Your choice determines outcome for your life and also for those around you. The thing that God gave us was choice more than anything. We always have free will. It's just a matter of what it is that you do that determines the outcome of where your life is headed. And that same knowledge also affects everyone around you that's connected with you. I don't want to say everyone, but most everyone. So wisdom from Proverbs says, 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So with the wisdom, you also get understanding as far as what it is. And there's so much stuff underneath what's going on with AI and ChatGPT. If you don't get the wisdom, you won't ever understand it. And it's phenomenal what's going on. So confusion versus clarity. We live in a world full of noise, but clarity is still available to us. Only if we seek the knowledge to get clear. It's like saying you want to go to school, but you're never going to learn what the books are saying if you don't open the book. All of this is helping you to get the knowledge that you need. If you're not seeking it, then you won't be getting it. Whether you look for it in books, videos, magazines, wherever you're seeking the knowledge, you won't get clear until you actually read it, understand it. And the thing is, God is not a God of confusion at all. As it says in First Corinthians, it says, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. So with everything that I brought up, I try to show that there are bits and pieces of everything that we go through somewhere in the Bible as far as a scripture is concerned, as far as what is relative to. It's all written there. None of this is anything that's new to us. Well, it is new to us if you haven't learned it. Hold on a second. If I get back in. All right. On back one. So the main thing is, with everything that we're doing, your discernment level increases. The more that you know, the more that you can discern what's right and what's wrong. Each time you're learning it, each time you see the truth, and each time that each time that you're reading it, anytime that you're feeling it, your discernment level increases. Because not everything we see is the truth. And I think we know that even before AI happens, and not everything you see is the truth. And not everything that sounds spiritual is of God or from God, because there are so many false people out there saying these things are what God related. You have to have your own discerning spirit to understand what's real. And this is the whole purpose of me bringing this to the surface. The other part is you have to test what you hear, especially before you're passing it on to someone. I think I even passed some false information on to somebody because I didn't test what was real the other day. And just a bit. So one of the things is I actually heard or saw on the screen. Well, everybody knows about the news lady whose mother got kidnapped, correct? There was something published saying that she had been found, that they found her dead, and that some uncle or something had done it. And it wasn't even true, but it was there in an article. And I shared that with somebody, and then I found out that it wasn't true. So you got to test what you hear and now also what you read. Because guess what? As in John 4:1, it says, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits where they are of God. And this is where the biblical aspect of it or the spiritual aspect comes in. Discerning it, feeling it, questioning it, all of those things now have to come into play because there's so much falseness out there. It's incredible. It's incredible. So, with the power of perception, we are no longer just receiving information, we are navigating it. What we see influences what we believe. It's only natural to see something and think that, oh my God, it's like, I think the other thing that I saw the other day was the water purifiers. I don't know if anybody had sent off for the water purifiers. How they're saying now that, of course, with the water, you need to buy these purifiers in case the water goes bad. And you start perceiving that. You're like, well, there is a chance that the water could go bad, and why not get this water purifier? It made sense to do that. So you have to be able to discern what it is that you think is applicable to you and your life. And it's all by receiving the knowledge that you need for your everyday life, not based on someone else's, on your own. I'm getting feedback, so I'm going to cut this off. So Matthew 24:24 says, For there shall arise false Christs, false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So without getting into all of the details, through what's biblical, we are saying that there will be false people coming out there saying these things are based on God and based on Christ or based on prophets or whatever that you believe. You have to know based on your life and what you've learned to discern what's real and what's not. And that's this whole part. These are your decisions to make. So with technology, it does not create deception in a sense. It makes it faster, bigger, and harder to detect. So it's being created by everyday people behind the scenes. And it's making it harder to detect. Like yesterday, I just saw on there a whole 2-minute video of the black lady and her husband talking, and he's like, "Honey, where are you going?" She said she was going to work to apply for a job. I mean, this is the whole scenario, and it was all AI created, but I could tell that's what it was. It's amazing, and these are just commercials. But deception has always existed. It's not that it's new, it's just at a higher level. And it's at a level I've never seen before, that the whole world has never seen before with AI. So we've always been misled, we've always been manipulated, we've all had truth misrepresented. This is nothing new under the sun, but it's at a whole different scale now. So much higher. Never seen this before in life. and it's not going away. So what's the difference now is the speed, the reach, and the realism. And all of that is going so rapidly and growing so fast right now. So technology doesn't create the deception, but it does give it a louder voice. And now we have a wider audience because of social media, because of everything else that's going out now. Before we just used to have what, four, six, and eight for our news screen. Well, now we got 15,000 channels. We got YouTube, we got social media, Instagram. Everything else now is more accessible for people because of social media. And that's how, even with the technology of being what it is, if AI was just doing AI by itself, so now it's amplified because now you can see it on YouTube, you can see it on Facebook, you can see it everywhere now. So that's the difference in why it's spreading so much faster and wider. So for your revelation framework, this is not about trying to predict anything. I'm not trying to predict any futures or anything else, just trying to make you aware. It's about recognizing what we're seeing and understanding what works so we're not easily misled. And I'm telling you, it's scary about how much more we're going to be misled by a lot of things. But on the other aspect, it can be used in so many wonderful and wonderful ways that we just need to understand which way is the way we need to go versus what the world is doing versus what you actually see on the screen. You have to be able to discern the difference. So deception is a revelation in itself. And it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on earth by the means of those miracles. Uh, these are biblical verses that are there in the Bible telling you that we've been deceived. So this has been all the way back in the beginning of time. This is nothing new. It's just that we have to be now more aware of it more than ever before. And with Revelation 13:15, it says, he had the power to give life unto the image of the, I'm sorry, given to the image of the beast. And I didn't want to use that word. I actually wanted to scratch it out, that the image should both speak. I left it there because, like I said, I had a very disturbing image that came on my screen the other day that was very frightening. And I'm not saying it was the beast or the devil or anything else, but there are some frightening visions out there right now and images of things that are just horrible. And you have to be able to look at them. For me, I just immediately just took it off the screen because I don't want to be privy of it. But it just could pop up on your screen while you're scrolling through social media, while you're scrolling through Instagram. Things like that can just start appearing on your screen. And if you're not aware of it, it could actually scare you because that image that I saw really scared me at the time. So this is not claiming that this is fulfillment of any prophecy or anything else. You just need to be aware of the patterns that's happening out there to understand what's going on in this world. It's just to increase your awareness. And as they said in Revelation, and he causeth all to receive a mark that no man might buy or sell. That one I also almost wanted to not include because that goes further into a whole nother level of what's going on in the book of Revelations about receiving the mark and various other things. But I kept it in there because we still have to be aware of things that's going to be happening in the future, not saying immediate, but somewhere down the line. And I'm bringing that part up because right now, remember how they're getting rid of money now? They're going to Bitcoin, they're going to electronic ways. You hardly even see where you're actually exchanging dollars for dollars right now. So at some point in time, they're going to say, well, if you don't have this amount somewhere in Bitcoin or in some other form of money, that you may not be able to buy or sell what you need. All of this is just to bring you to awareness, not to scare you, just to let you understand things like that are already happening. As you can see, the dollar bill and the coins, we probably won't be using them after a while in the next few years. So what this does not mean, AI is not all knowing, it's not a spiritual authority. It is a tool that reflects the people who build it. And I keep going back to the part for the people that build it and use it. Therefore, the responsibility is still ours because we are users of the technology for those that choose to use it. What This does mean is that we must develop discernment, stay grounded, be intentional with what we receive and what we see. And as with every new tool you're given, you must learn how to use it properly. So AI is a tool. You learn to use it properly. It can be advantageous in your life. For those that choose not to, it can be a disadvantage, but it just depends on who's using it. And this is nothing new. There's always good, there's always bad. There's always people doing things the right way, there's always people doing the wrong thing. It's just at a different level now with AI. I only got a few more slides to go on before we can start the discussion. So the main thing is your responsibility is this. What you choose to learn is your responsibility. What you choose to believe is your own responsibility. What you choose to ignore, that is still your responsibility. And what you choose to share with others is also your responsibility. And that's very important too, because you have other people around you. What I'm choosing to share is my responsibility. It's my responsibility to share this information. I don't know why I was picked to do it, but hey, this is what I'm doing. We have to share this with our families. You have to share information with those that are around you, that are connected with you. You choose to do that. It's your responsibility to let them know or not let them know what you know. So what you choose will shape everything in your life and the life of those around you. It's all about choice, guys. Everything is. This monster is not going away. So, for spiritual guidance, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not to our own understanding. In all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. That's what it all ends up leading to, being connected, knowing what it is that God has in store, and staying in tune to that. It helps with discernment. It helps with your knowledge. It helps with you being led in the path that you need to go in your life, staying connected, just trusting in the Lord, leaning not to your own understanding, and definitely not leaning out to everything else that you just see. So, with our sound mind, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So, hopefully, this will take away the fear of what we think the technology is going to do and understand that we are in control of using that technology for ourselves. It's not going to do it past us. It's still what you decide to use for you, your family, for your everyday lives. And hopefully the fears will be subsiding, because mine has been subsiding, because it's like I know what I'm looking at. Now I understand what's going on, and now I'm getting a better understanding as far as what I want to delete off my page, what I don't want to read, what I don't want to see, what I do want to see, what I do want to grasp, and being able to decipher the difference is making a big difference in my life already. So the human role in ChatGPT is that humans are still at the center of everything. They design a system, they train the system, and they decide how the technology is used. When I say they, we are the people. We decide how the technology is used. And like I said, if you're either advanced with it or you just started or you're not using it at all, you still decide what you want to use it for. I've been using it for a lot of research. It just helps me with a lot of research, and it keeps me from having to go to Google this, to Google that. Everything that I need to see right now is part of that. And maybe a lot of it I'm learning even through YouTube. Everything is at your disposal as far as technology is concerned and how you're going to gain knowledge. You just have to decide which is the best method for you. So as you can see, you have the young man, you have the lady just sitting at the coffee table, just having a casual conversation. You have another young man just saying, hey, he might just be doing his Instagram. It's up to you to decide how you want to use the technology and where it's going. It's all about choice. So for practical protection, what can we do? My thing is pause before sharing content that you're not sure about. Try to verify your sources. Don't react to everything you see. Please, I should have put that in bold writing. Don't react to everything you see. Stay grounded in the truth and faith. Use AI as a tool, not as a truth source, because some of the stuff is just not real. You have to be able to discern what is and what isn't. So the questions you want to ask yourself when you see powerful content online, where did this come from? Is it verified? Was it trying to make me feel? What action is it trying to trigger in my life? These are all things now that you have to consider with this artificial intelligence world. That's why they're using the word artificial, because it is. And just as a quick note, um, some pointers to think about is how to discern what's real and what's fake. And this is not 100%, no way, no how. Check the source. Where did it come from? Is it a credible source? Like I said, the source that I saw for that news, they had a true story and the other story was false. And it was the same company disseminating the information. Pause before reacting. If it triggers an emotion, slow it down, think about it, and say, wait a minute. What is this telling me? And why is it trying to trigger an emotion inside of me? Look for confirmation. Can you verify it in multiple sources? I should have checked the news before I shared the news to somebody else because that should have been all over ABC, CBS, and everything else. I didn't check it. I just saw the source and shared it. Wrong decision. However, the other article was real. No figure. So you have to examine the details. Does anything feel slightly off? That's your discerning spirit. Does not seem right? If that person is saying something and their lips are not saying what is being heard, it's like, okay, that doesn't seem like it's real that they're saying it. It doesn't seem like that's the right person there. Their face is too perfect. All of these things you start paying attention to. So watch for urgency. A lot of things you say, oh, buy now, do this now. You must do this today. You only got 24 hours. You got to do this. You got anything that's trying to create urgency on it. You want to find out why is it trying to create urgency and question it and slow down and pause. Research it. Know what AI can do. Number 6, it can do voices, videos, and images can be created. I just gave an example the other night that a young lady had her father, thought she was talking to her father on the phone, and it was some other person. Her father was in the other room asking her, like, who are you talking to? She's like, Dad, that's you on the phone. He's like, no, it's not me. I'm not trying to scare y'all, but it's scary. Use discernment. Does it bring clarity or confusion? Number 7. If it's not logical, you might want to think about it. And getting close to the end right now so we can discuss it. I'm sorry. But I figure these are the things that you need to be aware of. Does it align with the truth or is it just emotional? Does it bring clarity or is it bringing confusion? God is not the author of confusion. Does it inform or does it manipulate you to do something? If it pressures you to react quickly, slow it down. And we are not going to be able to catch everything, but we can't stop reacting to everything. Pause and use your spiritual anchor when it comes to making decisions on what it is that you see or think you see, I should say. So discernment is not just about intelligence, it's about being grounded enough to not to be easily moved. I want to use the word not. So do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. These are all the things that you need to test, or from whatever you believe. And that's pretty much it. I think I have a couple more slides, but I don't want to get into all of that. Just as a final message, we're not called to fear the times. We are called to understand them better. And it's doing it through knowledge and seeking clarity on things. So the main thing is, what will you choose to believe, to pursue, or to understand for your life? These are the questions that you want to ask. And as a final observation, how does this affect us and your dreams going forward? Because guys, I'm a dream steerer, how it's affecting my dreams. It was slowing my thinking down. It's like, wow, if everybody can access everything, what do you need a dream steerer for? But the devil is a liar. We all need dreams. We all need dream steerer. We need consultants. We need everything. But we have to be able to slow our minds down from all of this information that we're constantly being bombarded with to allow our dreams to actually manifest because it will distract you because you're getting confused about what you're seeing versus what's reality. So distraction can delay your purpose, fear can stop your movement, confusion can cloud your direction. Your dreams going forward requires clarity and focus. And trust me, the less clutter, the better. So AI is not here to replace you, it is here to assist you, but it will only be as powerful as the person using it. The choice is and always will be what you decide to do with the knowledge that you obtain, which is the whole purpose of me doing what it is. You'll see a picture of the world. You'll see a picture of praying hands saying, please stay ahead of what's going on through prayer, through connection with God, through your source, whatever it is. And AI is on the other end of all of that. Be aware. And just want to go back to the last part. All of the conversations are on YouTube. Please go back and watch them. I haven't loaded up last week's and this week's, but 1 and 2 are there, and they'll give you more information leading up to this conversation if you kind of like got distracted or sidetracked by so much that I've said. But I have discussed it in the last other 2 sessions. So please subscribe and share it with someone that you think might need it in the future. So, all right. Now we're just opening up for conversation. If anybody have anything that they want to say, comments, concerns? Gonna go back to the question one. Yeah. So what will you choose to believe, pursue, and understand? Aki, you have something you want to say?
Yes. I'm gonna use AI. I don't know when, but I do plan to get into it a little more to enhance what I want to move forward with my business. So
Okay.
I can see it as a beneficial tool to help me progress and move forward.
And give me one example with your artwork. How do you think you could use it?
Uh, for one, I need to establish for a web page. I need to establish a statement, uh, and so when they'll look at my web page, they'll know what I'm all about,
Okay.
and so that can help me put together a solid biography or opening statement or something um, that's about me, but put it in a form that's presentable to others.
Exactly. Good. I'm glad you recognize that because that's that's what it helps me to do. To me, someone else brought up like last week. They brought up it's like, well, AI is saying something different from what I said. Well, I can type in something. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little transparent right now about something personal about me. But this last bout that I had with cancer, uh, found out that they almost lost me on the table. I didn't share this with a lot of people, so I don't know how long. They injected me with a dye, and the dye caused an effect, a reverse reaction, and it dropped my blood pressure down to 60/0. And they said they did everything they were supposed to do just to get me off the table, and practically, I guess, to save my life. But I don't know. Ever since then, it's kind of like I've lost words. My enunciation is not as good. So, and even with my writing, I've noticed a difference. I'm going to actually have a brain scan hopefully next week. But so when I'm writing now, I have to go back and like, oh, does that sound right? So I've been putting that in, like you said, to make my sentences better, to create it to be more professional, depending on what it is that I'm using it for. And like you said, it'll create a great biography for you and put your information in. And it'll put you, like you said, in a nice, beautiful, professional format that you would want to have on your website. So that is one of the ways to use that. One of the very, very small ways to do that. So Miss Lizzie, I know you've been using it. You have a lot you have something that you want to say? Is she still here? If you're talking, I can't hear you. All right. So we have Miss Lizzie Woody. Uh, maybe she wasn't able to be hearing it. So also, like I said, we're creating a lot of this information. Just to let you know, Carol, Aki, that I just put in information. I wanted the AI to take the previous information that I had given it, because all it does is it accumulates the information that you give it and just spews it back to something that you're asking it to do. So I says I wanted to apply what I've been teaching for the last 3 weeks, but put it in a biblical sense and apply it to biblical principles. So this is how the Bible verses appeared. It's like, oh, well, you talked about this, you talked about discernment, you talked about people for the lack of knowledge. And so it helped because I didn't have to go and try to find the scriptures for it. You know what I mean? So it helped me as far as research was concerned, as far as applying scripture to what it is that I was teaching. So you can use it in that aspect. And like I said, when I did my bio, I put my bio in, boom, it says, oh, rewrite it, and boom, it made it more professional looking and made the words together. Of course, it edited everything else out. It just helps in so many ways. And those are just small, small ways compared to what's going on with technology right now, how it has moved since then. Miss Lizzie,
Okay.
were you trying to talk or not? If you are, I'm not hearing you. I see that your mic is going off and on, but can you type in chat? Can she type in chat? She can't either. So mainly that's it, guys, as far as the last part of this. I don't feel I need to continue it at this point. I'm probably going to be incognito on Facebook and everything else for the next few weeks, because I plan on getting more research done as far as completing what's going on with AI and even the next levels. And Aki, I think the other scenarios, the other YouTube videos are going to help you a whole lot if you go back and review them. And it'll show you
Okay.
how it has expanded just from doing ChatGPT into what's called synthetic AI, which is now how they're doing the visuals and doing the fake people and everything else that's out there as well. So it gives you a better insight on it. So hopefully you look at it. Miss Lizzie, I am so sorry that you can't talk. I don't know what's going on. I see your mic's going off. Can you get on video at all? All right. So what I'm going to do is end this as far as the recording is concerned. I want to thank you, Aki, for being here, Miss Lizzie for being here, and whomever may see this in the future. And I just pray, and matter of fact, I'm going to do my prayer to end this with. So as a final prayer, I want to say, Father God, give us wisdom. Give us wisdom in a world full of information. Give us clarity when things feel confusing. Give us discernment to know what is true. Help us to use every tool, including AI, with purpose, integrity, and alignment. And most of all, keep us focused on the dreams you have placed within us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. So I'm going to stop
Mhm.
the recording. Miss Lizzie, I see you. Let me stop the recording. And then maybe we can talk after if you're still on. Stop recording.